Let's roll. A new economical trolling motor. We started fishing the Florida Redfish Series in 2022, just last year. In order to qualify for the championship, which is held in Steenahatchee, you only have to fish 2 of the tournaments. So we actually fished 3. But we picked the areas that we fished before and that we were comfortable fishing, and it paid off for us big time in the long run. We actually won the championship when we got first placed in 2022 in Steenahatchee, which was a 2-day tournament. We enjoy this tournament series so much from our first season of experience there that we decided to fish all of the tournaments the Florida Redfish Series has to offer. And half of them, we've never fished these areas before. So when I was going over the Florida Redfish Series schedule with Captain Jacob, my tournament partner, and I brought up Panama City as one of the stops, he literally said to me, "There's redfish there?" I said, "I'm assuming, since that's a stop of this tour." We had no idea what to expect. We had no idea where to start, and that's why we thought it'd be perfect to start this with a New Waters episode, because it is definitely going to be new to us. Call Rich Murphy.
Yo.
My man, what you doing?
Just driving.
Hey, you fished all over, Rich. By any chance, do you know of any, like, just bad to the bone bait and tackle shops in Panama City Beach area?
You like that Panama City area?
Yeah.
That Blue Water Outrigger store is pretty badass, and that's in that's Port St. Joe.
Oh, perfect.
It's worth the drive.
All right, cool. Yeah, because I was actually looking at that area to fish anyway, so that works out perfect. All right, we're gonna stop there first thing in the morning. How we doing?
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm Gary.
Hey, y'all welcome to Blue Water Outrigger.
I appreciate it. We need some insight on the area.
All right.
Who can we talk to?
I'll take care of the job for you.
Perfect. So we're just outside of Panama City right now. Never fished this area a day in my life.
Okay.
Actually, it's the first time I even drove through here. And as soon as we hit Port St. Joe, we fell in love. Called a friend about getting some insight on local bait and tackle, Captain Ridge, and he said this was the place to go.
Absolutely, we can help.
We started looking it up when Ridge told us about
Right.
it. It's obviously you could. I mean, it's amazing. Like, you just walked in, I feel like I'm in a little Bass Pro Shop.
That's kind of what we tell people, yeah.
So how long has this store been around?
This particular store here has been here since 2003. We've got 13,000 square feet. over 5 million in inventory.
Wow. Well, this is impressive, for a mom and pop, and you can just feel walking in here that you still have that mom and pop feel, but
Absolutely.
with a lot of inventory. So, well, would you want to show me around a little
Sure.
bit and see what we got? First of all, do we have the Heo sunglasses here?
Heck, yeah, we do.
Whew. All right. I want to check out those new Ozello frames they've got.
Awesome. We just go this way.
Okay. So, do the redfish go out in the flats and get in the potholes and kind of that deeper water when the water temps are around that? Or I mean,
They're starting. They should be coming from the creeks and the waterways as we speak. They should be migrating back,
okay.
and then they'll be, moving around. They're going to feed. They have to eat. So
Yeah.
they're just not quite as aggressive this time when the water's this cool.
Gotcha.
Of course, this has nothing to do with fishing, but we have a whole selection of guns and ammo as well.
Let's go see that. That has everything to do with fishing. I'm looking for 35 rounds. By any chance, would you guys have them?
You're in luck. We got them.
No way.
Absolutely. There it is, right there.
It's been over a year and a half since I could
35
find
women.
anywhere that had these. Man, this is destiny. Cool. They have everything. I'm telling you. So we just left Blue Water Outriggers. They were awesome to talk to. While we're over here in Port St. Joe, we're going to go fish the bay and just kind of check out and see if it's going to be worthy for the redfish tournament on Saturday. As you can see, we've got some high gusts today, so pre-fishing is going to be tough, not going to lie. But we're here. We're going to go check it out. Talking to Dave at Blue Water Outriggers, we kind of narrowed down our baits. So this is what I'm going to start with: the Saltwater Assassin Dye Dapper and the Watermelon Red Magic, and then the same Dye Dapper, but in this more off-white color, to try to reenact a croaker bait, which is apparently really big for redfish here. So let's go see what we can do. So as you can see, we're not quite in a typical redfish territory. That wind was just too brutal on day one here, and we followed the intercoastal into the middle of nowhere. But what we have found so far is a little largemouth bass. So we figured we'd spend the rest of the day kind of doing something we don't typically do, and Jacob gets here tonight, and we figure that we'll just hit it real hard on red fishing tomorrow and the next day before the tournament on Saturday. But this is just such a pretty area right here. There's been sunken boats. There's these really cool custom houseboats, and they're houses on top of pontoons. And we also saw an alligator earlier. That we figure we're probably a little bit too much into a freshwater territory for redfish. But this is still just too cool, because this is all new waters to us. So. So that was day one. Right now we're enjoying some beers at Uncle Ernie's over here in Panama City. Super cool spot on the water. You got to check it out. I had such a blast today just hanging out with Sean, exploring, seeing just the scenery. We really didn't focus on fishing too much with those heavy winds. With Jacob coming into town tonight, that's who we're waiting on right now, we figured that we're going to hit the redfish real hard tomorrow and Friday especially. But we did get some lines wet, and we went and tried this whole bass fishing thing. We're saltwater guys. We didn't quite know what we were doing. We ended up getting 4 or 5 strikes, and we just danced soft lures across lily pads, and we got to see a lot of wildlife today. Lots of big alligators, small alligators. We heard hogs in the forest, and we got to see all kinds of really cool structures that we didn't really know the story behind it, but we wanted to know. So we are going to try to figure that out. Super cool area, Port St. Joe. Loved it. But we are going to check out a different area because the winds seem to be the same for tomorrow as they were today. So we're going to try to find something a little more isolated where we can focus on red fishing. The weather has a funny way of steering you in the direction that it's blowing. So if it wasn't for those windy conditions, you know, on day one before Jacob got there, Sean and I we wouldn't have went and explored and saw what we got to see. And, you know, that's kind of my favorite part about exploring new waters is that you're not confined on focusing on one spot, and you're more open-minded to go explore. So even though the wind made it very difficult to scout for the actual tournament, it also led Sean and I to see some really cool stuff and get to hang out and, you know, get to see stuff that we're not used to. And that's what New Waters is all about, is just going outside of your realm and going to explore, going to see new waters. Cheers to day one. Let's get into day two. The first spot we stopped at just didn't, it was really complicated, and it just didn't feel like you know, the way we had redfish back home. And then we got on the maps and pointed this spot out, and it, you know, almost looked like you were saying, like Chassahowiska area. We're actually catching fish. Woo! First Panama City beach red, baby! Got me hooked. They are not Jacob. Ah!
Beautiful, nice and dark.
Stunning fish. On the aqua dream. When we felt them several times come up and sniff them and bump them, you see that one foul hooked them, so they're just not reacting, but fish are the fish. All right.
Nice fish.
I think we're on to something, Jake. One of the parts about fishing deep water is you don't know the water. And we got ourselves in a little bit of a predicament back there. And, you know, we were following those mullet, and that wind was blowing so hard that when it started getting shallow, we couldn't turn around and go the other way. So we just kept following the wind. And sorry, so we don't know which way not to go Saturday. But it paid off. Found a second spot that we're going to get out and get a little exercise in.
He kind of came out of the water.
Yeah, you did. That was cool. Made all that fishing.
Yeah, I did.
Jacob, what bait was that on?
The white jerk shad.
Nice.
Salt water cess. Double spot too. Beautiful.
I love the colors of these fish up here. So far, we've used the famous rule that we live by is follow the mullet. Got what 20-25 mile an hour winds, higher gusts. So we're kind of just winging it right now. We found a couple spots that I feel comfortable, starting the tournament on Saturday. But tomorrow, I feel like it's just gonna be a whole different game. Two important parts of pre-tournament fishing: finding fish or not finding fish. Today was a little bit of both, but more so on not finding fish, right?
We found them, but we didn't.
Yeah. But it's all process elimination. We know where the fish are not. We know to go work a new area tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And we do have a backup plan if tomorrow's plan isn't better than today. We do have a plan to go off of for Saturday. But the cool part was we saw a lot of new water today.
Definitely a different experience.
A lot different experience. The fishing is totally different here. There's no tides. And the wind definitely was not in our favor. The wind made it very difficult to pre-fish. We didn't know what was out on the flats. We had no clue. We would have been blind casting forever. There was no indications of fish out there because there was 4-foot waves and white caps all over the place. But yeah, no, man, I'm really excited. And Jake, I had an awesome time with you today, so I'm really excited for tomorrow and especially tournament day.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Day 3, we were kind of stumped at this point, as far as what we were comfortable with tournament fishing wise. Because of the winds, it was really difficult to scout 1 and 2. We found fish, but nothing of true size to win a tournament like this. So we got on the maps and we figured out that we were somewhat close to Apalachicola. Never fished there before. We thought it might be a good opportunity to just go check it out and hopefully stumble across something. There was a lot more oyster bars there, which were more accustomed to fishing. So we traveled by boat and trailer to Apalachicola,
Florida, baby.
As soon as we got there, the first thing that we saw was all this dredging equipment. The water was very dirty, and the no-see-ums were truly alive that day. They were actual see-ums. Yeah, this is looking a lot different than what we had been fishing. We only spent 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we came to the conclusion that let's get back to something that we were more comfortable with scouting. That even though the winds were ideal to scout, the water clarity, there was just a lack of movement in the water as far as mullet. So we packed up right away and we traveled back west. So I'd say let's get on the road and just kind of start trolling motoring all of this.
Work those bars down.
Yep.
Hey, that's rock too, ain't it?
Yeah, look at there. All right. Once we got back up west, we then stopped at Port St. Joe, and we heard that there was fish out in the flats there in previous years and during a different type of season, but we still wanted to check it out. And we actually found really good stuff, very good stuff. Stuff that we were comfortable with making that run from Panama City to Port St. Joe. We found some really good fish. We were excited.
There he is.
There he is.
That's our kind of fish too.
Yeah.
swallowed that saltwater.
Yeah, he did.
Look at him all lit up. Literally by the skin. That's what we came here for.
Dude, look how thick he
It
is.
is thick.
Oh. Jacob Imhoff. That is what we're here for.
It's a beautiful fish.
Oh. This white's super white.
Red's popping out.
Him. We enjoy this tournament series so much from our first season of experience there that we decided to fish all of the tournaments the Florida Redfish Series has to offer. And half of them, we've never fished these areas before. We had no one to give us intel. They were way outside of our elements that we're used to, but we still wanted to give it a try just for the experience. And we figured that Panama City would be a perfect spot to film a New Waters episode. Alrighty, 4:30 Saturday morning, tournament day. Jacob, you ready?
I'm pumped.
How much of a roller coaster was yesterday as far as pre-fishing?
It was crazy.
We
Went from nothing to a lot.
did a lot. I mean, we didn't want to burn those redfish up that we finally found, but we just had to figure out how to flats fish for redfish.
It was weird.
It was real weird. But we got it done. So we're really excited for today. We saw some more beautiful country, some more new waters. I think we've seen more new waters this trip than we have ever. So
That's a fact.
let's get them in. All right, guys, wish us luck. After pre-fishing, we stopped at a local tackle shop and grabbed some 12-pound fluoro. So come tournament day, Jacob throws the first cast, and out of nowhere, a fish that he wasn't even targeting smashed his bait. That thing started peeling drag. Jacob and I were excited, and it snapped the line. It was definitely a heartbreak, and after seeing the leaderboard, it would have had us in top 5, but that's the name of the game. Jacob and I wanted to try and figure it out on our own. We obviously didn't place real high in this tournament. We learned that because of the lack of tides in the Big Bend area and the Panama City and the Panhandle, the fish do a lot of moving, and they're not consistent day to day. So even though we thought that we found the jackpot of redfish the day before, it was completely different the next day, tournament day. But we had an awesome time. We ended up placing 17th in this tournament. First time ever fishing this area. Not the best conditions for scouting. We learned a lot, and most importantly, like I said, we had a really good time. One of the most memorable things was sight casting this 25-inch trout. It was really cool watching him eat and getting that experience. Well, we're getting to the last hour of fishing, and it has been nothing but a trout fest. And we thought we saw a nice sized redfish on this sandbar, but instead we sight casted this probably 22, 23-inch trout. New waters, baby. He's probably bigger than that, don't you think?
Yeah, measuring.
Right away, I felt like we were at home with this group of anglers. They were all very competitive, Some of the best red fishing anglers in the state of Florida, in my opinion. Very professional. The rules are spot on. They take the rules very serious, the committee there. And that's something that I really like. And for those that know me, I'm very competitive, and but I also enjoy a good time. So outside of the competitive angling in this tournament, it's like a big family. You know, once we get back to the docks, there's no drama. Everyone is there to have a good time. There's father and son teams that have been fishing multiple series, you know, for the past 20 years. And that's what I really like about this. It just feels like a big family, but when it's game time, it's game time. And I'm big into that. So that was our experience of new waters, exploring new waters, seeing new waters in the Panhandle and, you know, the great region of Panama City and Port St. Joe, Apalachicola. We'll definitely be back again. Really cool area, and definitely far different from what we're used to fishing. Our next stop on the Florida Redfish series is actually back in our hometown in Crystal River and Ozello area. To be honest, this is that stop is actually the one that we dread the most because it's all artificial guiding out of Ozello. You know, I can tell you artificial is very tough when it comes to redfish. So, but we also are back in our home waters, and obviously we will not be filming in new waters for that one because it is the furthest thing from new to us. But we're going to be back, and we're going to do another show for this tournament series. You know, and we're just going to have to pick a good spot to do it. So be sure to subscribe and follow our YouTube channel to get that notification when the next one comes out. So we're going to be pumping them out here pretty soon. So make sure you stay tuned.
I think that's about it.
Yep. Cool.